Are you ready to start?
I'm ready, guys. Born ready.
Good, ready. Welcome, everyone. This is so exciting. We're starting with our very first global online summit here from Laulina. I have the honor and pleasure, and I'm so grateful that so many of my fellow practitioners are joining this weekend because we have thought, how can we come together in these amazing times, which are also sometimes challenging and also sometimes, questioning and we have some doubts, and it's just such a time where we feel we have to really come closer together and support each other and show up together because we know that this is a time where we just have to keep on envisioning what we want to create in the world. And so I'm super, super grateful that you guys are here and that, yeah, as I said, so many of the beautiful speakers that we have this weekend said yes immediately. And we're going to have a great, great 3 days period of talks. And then they also have brought some gifts to share with you guys. And so it's really exciting that we can start this now. So this morning, we're going to start with a beautiful, I would say, opener. That's why Margarita is already with me. And some of you might know that Margarita and I, we share the podcasts Cosmic Vibes. For about almost 2 years now, I would say we are trying to, as regular as we can be, because we're both traveling a lot, to really bring you the energy updates of the week. So I will send afterwards the link to the podcast so that you can all follow it. It's a really beautiful gift that Margarita is sharing with us every week, this update for
Mm.
free. And I'm really grateful that she's here because it's a special time also in terms of astrology because we have solar eclipse today, and in 2 days' time we have the equinox. So Margarita is going to tell about this in just a moment. But before we start into this, I just want to give you a very short introduction of Laulima. Many people always ask me, what is Laulima? What is Laulima? I don't even know sometimes. So Laulima came to me as I would say, an inspiration, an idea many years ago when I was traveling to Kauai a lot, one of the islands in Hawaii. And Laulima means many helping hands or many working together. And in terms of healing, it means that, when you're healing, you need your community, you need support. Sometimes it's your close family and friends, sometimes it's experts. So the idea when I was in Kauai was how can I support this new evolution where I feel that many, many people in this world, including myself, are seeking, longing for something else, are in this transition with their own lives, their own understanding of themselves, but also in general as a society. So how can we create something where we can come together, where we can showcase and where we can inspire people with all the different modalities that are out there already? So many great people. When I was traveling in Hawaii, I was astonished and impressed by the amazing amount of speakers, healers, coaches, and they helped me a lot in my life. So I was feeling, okay, it needs to have a platform that is online so people can also access this wisdom and these modalities in a way, even if they can't travel to these places. And I know Margarita also is a big traveler like me. So, for us, I feel it's the world to us, when we go out there and we meet new cultures, we meet new people and other healers and practitioners. But it's a privilege that not everyone has. And also sometimes, we have this technology, so why not use it? So I know for many healers and for many practitioners, it's still new. It's still new to go online and do the same work or a similar adapted work online because it's still different, obviously. I mean, for me as well. I love being together in person, and I also seek to be in person with people more, but we have now the opportunity to also bring things online. So that's why I created Lalima as a platform for healers, practitioners, spiritual guides, and teachers to bring their offerings, but also an online community where we can all come together, where we can gather twice a week in an online session. One is about healing and one is about evolution. And then we can see what else we can offer in this community, whether it's retreats or whether it's residencies or whether it's other workshops that we can attend. So it's really a collaborative space also. So the people you will meet here over the weekend are people who have been involved for many years, almost I can say, because since 2 years we are building this up. And yeah, that's why I'm so grateful. I'm not on my own and I'm just bringing this and I'm holding it and I'm stewarding it. But there's really the vision, the longing to co-create and collaborate. And yeah, that's why I'm very grateful that Margarita starts with me because I feel that probably Margarita is one of those who have been collaborating the most weekly, almost weekly. Sometimes we miss our points, but almost weekly. And it's also a great insight for me, you know, the I would say the the energies, the rituals, the routines of nature that are all affecting us is being also a very big momentum in La Lima. So, what do we need as people, but also what does the world need, and how can we align with the stars? We are all coming from the stars. So, it's a little bit a question always like, how much can we align with the energies and how can we dance and flow with it? But also how can they help us to understand better what's going on with ourselves? Whether it's your personal astro chart, and Margarita gives amazing readings, just on the side note, but also as a collective, you know, it's like when do we have to be specifically gentle with each other, or when is a good time to start something new? So I knew that this is a special time because I'm so close with Margarita talking about this a lot. And that's why we put the summit exactly on these dates. And yeah, I'm now curious to hear what Margarita is going to tell us about these few days and what's coming out of it, maybe also for the following few weeks and months. So let me welcome Margarita. I'm very grateful that you're here. And yeah, and just shoot whatever you want to share with us about this special time.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, everybody. So nice to see you all. Good morning. So I'd actually like to begin with everyone just closing your eyes for a moment. And just coming into the space, starting your weekend, just taking a deep breath in and an open mouth sigh. This eclipse is bringing up a lot of emotion, a lot of overwhelm for a lot of people. And maybe just taking a moment to feel into the heart, what's alive for you today, what emotions might be flowing, and can you just drop into the surrender, into the trust, and into the flow, riding the waves. Just taking another deep breath in, sighing it out, and gently opening your eyes. Felt like I did that for me more than anyone else. So thank you so much, Danny, for having me, for the honor of being able to open this amazing event. I think it's perfect, actually, when we discussed times, and I was like, well, I think you suggested this time, and I was like, oh, great. And just to talk about the timing of this event and to talk about the timing of where we are now. So there's probably a few of you, I recognize a few names in this list who are aware of what's unfolding right now in the skies. But for those who aren't, we're on the brink of the final eclipse of eclipse season, which began about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we're also on the brink of the equinox on Monday. So these are these would already be two powerful portals, moments of change or manifestation, release, the usual. But together, it's quite potent, and it's so beautiful because looking at all the beautiful gifts that the speakers have kind of offered, I was saying to Danny how incredible this selfless act of service. It's so in the energy of these eclipses, which are in the signs of Virgo and Pisces, which we know is the healer's axis or the axis of service. So it's really divinely aligned, and really, when it comes to astrology, these things still continue to inspire me and surprise me, but at the same time, they don't. So I love how there's this kind of coming together of healers, the Virgo Pisces energy, and healers on all different levels. So we have the Virgo kind of healer, which is the more practical, here's your detox plan for the next 3 weeks. And then we have the Piscean types, which is, feeling the energy of the body and going to things like hypnosis. So it's really a literal representation of what's happening in the heavens. Right now we're in quite a liminal space. We've got the eclipse happening tomorrow. Thank God. I'm ready for it. The eclipse that we had 2 weeks ago was in the sign of Pisces, and that was a lunar eclipse, which is kind of like a supercharged full moon. And being in Pisces, I've held a few circles since, and obviously I see clients every day, and I really read what's going on in the collective. And there's, with Pisces, it was really just amplifying this overwhelm, this powerful emotion. I mean, for me, I was in Morocco at the time. I was surfing, I was in the water, I was moving through big emotion. For some of my clients, they were experiencing like another surfer here in Cape Town. She had her board kind of split in half in really big swell. She had plumbing issues. Some of my other clients have just been flattened by emotion. And so lunar eclipses, especially in a water sign like Pisces, have the ability to unlock a lot of big feelings, and especially with eclipse energy, which tends to open portals into, if we believe in past lives, it opens portals into old wounds, into things that we thought perhaps were resolved, but maybe just need a little bit more tenderness and a little bit more healing, which is why we're all here. So, that really opened up all these opportunities, I would say, but it hasn't really felt easy. I mean, none of us really want to have to go back to the same thing that we thought we were dealt with, 10 years ago. And these particular eclipses have a flavor of something around the last 10 years. So looking at 10 years ago when we had the eclipses in these two signs, maybe there's something that's kind of repeating. And one of my students said it's like a karmic do-over. And I found that really relevant to me. I mean, for my personal life, absolutely. So maybe there's a little taste, a little link. One of my students said that they started their coaching business 10 years ago, and now they're moving into hands-on work, which I thought was absolutely amazing. It's the same, but different. It's still got that healing energy. It's still got that service-driven kind of thing, but it's transformed, right? We're getting a karmic do-over. With that said, the floodgates have opened, and for me, lunar eclipses, these supercharged full moons, can be very challenging, because they bring a lot of culmination and they also bring a lot of ending. And as humans, we're not amazing at endings. We're good at beginnings, though. We all like the beginning, but we have to let go and we have to surrender, which is the Pisces, the calling of Pisces, in order for the beginning to take place. And with the South Node, which is more of a significator of what we need to release in Virgo, there's a sense that we need to release the Virgo need for control, for planning, for knowing what the outcome is going to be of a particular path, right? And we have to lean into the Pisces message of surrender and trust, which is kind of like why I kind of opened with that. Like, where can we soften? Where can we surrender? Where can we allow? Where can we be guided by spirits? I love using the quote for this Pisces Virgo energy as trust in God, which is super Pisces, but lock your car, which is the Virgo. So we can plan to a point. We can do our budgets, we can do our spreadsheets, we can take care of all the details. We need to do that. Otherwise, we would be lost in the Pisces fog for forever and just never get around to anything practical. But at some point, we need to let go. And we need to say, okay, well, if this is meant to be, then the universe will take care of it. So it's a bit of a balance that we're looking at with Pisces Virgo of, having the structure in place and, putting the detail into things and using our intellect, but then really dropping into source and dropping into spirit and dropping into our own intuition. So that is really what's being stirred up, and this has been going on the whole year. It's just kind of amplified at the moment with the eclipses. we started with these eclipses sort of earlier this year around March or April. So, for me, I've kind of, I think, purposefully blanked out that time. I'm not a eclipse season is it's not always easy. It's also because the symbolism of eclipses is very interesting. If we think about what astrology is, it's a symbolic language. So when we look at the sun and the moon, what happens during an eclipse? The light of the sun and the moon go out. They're blocked, right, by the path of the earth and everyone's kind of movement around each other. So symbolically, this is if the sun and the moon represent light, they represent consciousness and awareness. And if we look at the blocking of the light, we're looking at unconsciousness, we're looking at plunging into shadow. And so this was a very well-known kind of like, I guess, fact in a lot of the Eastern countries and still is, especially in places like India where we don't actually put our eyes on an eclipse. It's a bit superstitious. We kind of like we've moved through that now. But they had the very correct idea that we are being plunged into darkness, that the light of our consciousness is like a bit blurred, and so we're fumbling our way through these patterns and through these wounds and through these karmic kind of things that are coming up. And the best thing that we can do is really lean towards the light as much as possible. For those of us who are into manifestation work or release work, the witches out there, this is not really the time to be doing that kind of work. This is a time to be dropping quite deep into our self-care toolkit. So again, the gifts that are coming with the summit are so beautiful because they are so supportive during this time. So I always say with eclipses, the salt water is everything. Get into the ocean, run an Epsom salt bath, cry, or sweat. All three if you can. For me, it was getting on a wave on a surfboard. I've got the sweat, I've got the tears, I've got the ocean, I've got it all. So combining all of those was a really, really great practice. So because we're doing, because the dream world is often very active during eclipses, especially because it's in the sign of Pisces, which is all about the subconscious, um, we are already doing quite a lot of work behind the scenes. And so the Virgo urge is to fix, to problem solve, to analyze something to death in order to control it in a way, fix the problem. And it's all wonderful and all very well. But, the Pisces way is to not necessarily look at the problem as head on as Virgo, but to allow it to actually just solve itself in the background. So things like hypnosis, past life regression, dream work, all of these are very, very powerful tools during an eclipse or during an eclipse season. So if we're finding that we're having these really wild and crazy dreams, which seems to be very much the case, and at least in my network, and for those of us who are maybe a bit more sensitive, um, allowing ourselves to keep a dream journal, to talk about our dreams, to maybe ponder our dreams for the day. If we really want to drop into the dreams, going to get some sort of dream herbs and lighting them before bed. And pepper in South Africa, if we're in South Africa, is a great dream ancestor plant medicine. And really just setting the intention to work through whatever we need to work through in our dreams. Sometimes we don't have to consciously deal with it. Sometimes it's too much to deal with consciously. So that can be a really helpful tool. Also bearing in mind that doing this amount of work behind the scenes is exhausting. So I've seen a lot of people really flattened this week. I know for me, I've been very, very tired. Obviously landing back and moving and all of those kinds of things, but we are more tired than usual, and so resting and detoxing and gentle care. And I know we say it so much, but eclipse season really demands this of us. It asks us to really slow down. And if we have very strong Pisces or Virgo signatures in our chart, if we have our sun, moon, or rising there, this is going to be even more pronounced for us. And we may even find, I know for me, I've got a Pisces rising with my moon in Pisces, and I've got a Virgo descendant. So for me, huge change, actual physical manifestation, like things that are what I think are in my control, but actually are not in my control at all. because that's what eclipses do. It's universe take the wheel. All we can really do now is respond to the changes that are unfolding. So if there's anyone out there who really is experiencing a lot of these shifts and changes, it may well be because the eclipses are actually touching a very sensitive point in your chart. And so you actually just have to surrender to it. I very much take the attitude of the Stoics, where more and more as I get older and I practice this art, I realize that there's very little that's actually in our control. But what is in our control is how we react, how we respond, the choices that we make in the face of change. I watched that amazing, well, it's quite cheesy actually, surf movie called Soul Surfer when I was in Morocco. Cried all the way through it, eclipse season. But just found it so inspiring how she got her arm eaten off by a shark. And instead of just giving up and saying, well, okay, well, I'll never surf again, she just totally persevered and went on to be quite successful. And I thought that is such a great example of there's no ways that she could have controlled that experience. Maybe if she didn't get in the water that day, or maybe at a different time, but it's kind of meant to happen. But she did choose how she handled that event. So that's very much what we encourage during a time like eclipse season. How do we respond to the changes that are flowing around us? How do we take care of ourselves and rest and listen to the messages that Spirit wants to give us instead of trying to overthink it, overcook it? How can we release past patterns of perfectionism, of obsession, of even neurosis, of needing to get every single detail right, of control? This is what the South Node in Virgo, it's like really asking that we look at those patterns and we lean towards the Pisces, lean towards that flow. I mean, tomorrow's eclipse is a new moon eclipse. For me, it clears out a lot of the debris of this. Sorry, it's a solar eclipse. It cleans out the debris of the lunar eclipse 2 weeks ago. It gives us a new slate to start on at 29 degrees of Virgo. There's something urgent about this. There's something that has to be done now. We can't wait. And eclipses have a path of sometimes up to 3 years of unfolding. So, really, when we are thinking about what chapter we're beginning, we need to wholeheartedly commit to it. There's a Saturn energy around, which is going to test our commitment. It's going to say, are you ready to do this? It can bring external challenges in. These are not meant to deter us, but to actually really ground down our determination. So this is serious. These are serious beginnings, whether we're re-beginning in the area of, getting our habits and our health kind of on track, if we're starting a business, if we're doing something like this summit, which is a great time to start something. But obviously there will be Saturnian things that come along, it will test, are you really like committed to this path? And then of course the equinox on Monday is the change of season. So here in the southern hemisphere, the sun is, the days are getting longer. So it's a manifestation time. It's what I want, what I want to plant, what I want to create. It's spring, what seeds need planting, and combined with the energy of the eclipse, it's very powerful. In the northern hemisphere, we are going to winter. So what do we need to release? What do we need to let go of and make space for? So gentle rituals, planting a plant or lighting a candle, even that can just commemorate and tune us into the season.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, this is a lot. I feel this is a lot also to take in. Luckily, we're recording this so people can actually really come back and listen to it. We're going to send out the links to everyone. If you have questions, by the way, you can use the Q&A on the bottom of your screen. There should be an opportunity for all you also to ask questions, and we try to also answer them during the talks. But thank you so much, Margarita. I just have one question because the last few minutes that deeply touched me, I mean, I was just thinking about a date for this beautiful summit and bringing people together and highlighting this most amazing time and how we can really see this as an opportunity for all of us to grow. But now you stirred something up also in me when you said like this is really serious. And I mean, I'm a Capricorn, as you know, so I can be quite serious and I can be quite, like driven in what do we feel responsibility for, or what do we want to commit to. So that's it's nothing new for me, but I just felt this beautiful, almost as if you were like you're saying like, this is serious, Danny, let's do this. So I feel this is a really beautiful time also for the audience to just sink in it for a second and feel into what do you want to commit to for the next 3 years. It's like this eclipse is a real opportunity to feel into what do you really long for in your life, whether it's in a very personal life, whether it's in your family, in the community, in society. What is it that you really long for? And for the next 3 years, where you are committed to consistently show
Mm,
up and grow along that, because I also feel that it's very much about that's one reason why we have this community now is like it's easier to show up together. It's easier to come together once a week to sit in meditation, or once a week to share our stories or to ask for support or whatever. So what is it that you in your life and your community feel you want to commit to create something that you really long for in your life? I think that's a beautiful question to the audience as well. And I can definitely say I commit to building this community. So online as offline, as I've been doing a bit, but now I feel like I really want to focus on this more. So you can all hold me accountable for that. And we're gonna hopefully have more of these summits. But yeah, that's really beautiful. So what do you feel like? What is a one thing if, I mean, you really shared a lot and it's probably also difficult for you to summarize it, but what would be the one thing that you want people to take away around this solar eclipse or equinox for the
mm,
next few weeks?
mm. I would say really releasing patterns around control, fear of the future, obsession with detail and perfection, really letting go of that and really leaning into surrender and trusting that the chapter that is unfolding is what is meant for our soul. That would
Hmm.
be the most important message, I think.
Beautiful.
Mm.
That's so nice.
Mm.
Thank you so, so much. It's really great. I mean, what else is to say? We're going to record this as well as a weekly podcast again. So for those who have been coming in later, we have a weekly podcast, Margarita and I, which is called Cosmic Vibes, which you can find on our Instagrams, but also on Spotify. So weekly, we're bringing this energy update. And Margarita obviously also has her own offerings, like really amazing chart readings, but also a course coming up in February. So you can have a look at Laulima and check in what else is going to come from her. So thank you so much, Margarita, for being here today. And now the next journey for you is, I think you're gonna be in South Africa for quite a while, right? And people can also see you on some of the festivals. So um,
Mm.
is there anything you want
Mm.
to share?
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for sticking around for that transmission. So yeah, I'm back in South Africa until at least winter. Well, we'll see. There might be little things here and there, but for now I'm in South Africa. I will be teaching a beginner's course. So for anybody who wants to go a little bit deeper into astrology, it's usually a very popular course. It's starting in February next year. Very affordable. Just reach out to me, margaritaceleste.com. Otherwise, on Instagram, Margarita Celeste Astrology. I will be at Pangaea this year at the end of October. And then next year I'll be on the Retreat Yourself Healers team
Heal
at
yourself.
the Magical Gem,
Mhm.
and then hopefully Spirit Fest. So I'll be around. Reach out to me. I'm here now. I am ready to serve.
Okay.
Pisces Virgoing it out, and yeah, hope to see
And
some of
we
you
will probably also welcome
around.
you in one of the sessions in the next few weeks in the Lalima community. So watch out for that, everyone, as well. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I know that you also have a big day today with moving around still a lot. So
Mhm.
also you picked a really great weekend to start this new chapter. Amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. No, just surrendering into it.
Oh, thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming in
everyone.
today and really taking the time to do this. And I can see already that Mandy has joined us. And maybe Mandy, a first step, you can maybe change your name because you're having my name still with that link. If that's
Thanks, Dannie. Have a beautiful day,
Thank you
everybody.
so much, Margarita, for coming in. And yeah, have a beautiful day and see you very soon, Monday.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Great. So welcome, Mandy. I'm gonna just spend a few moments to introduce also one of my dear friends, similar to Margarita, that I'm so grateful that you have been such a big part of starting Laulima and supporting me personally also on this journey to setting everything up and finding connections. And you brought in some speakers for this amazing summit. Thank you so much for taking the time to come today. So Human Waking is one of the partners of this global summit, and Mandy is the founder, and she's hosting a really amazing 21 Presence program in October. So for everyone who has not seen that, please also have a look, and either we will send the links later on also to you, but also on the Laulima page you find it, and on Human Waking you will find it. So really great program that's already, I think, happening the sixth time, if I'm right, the sixth time. Yeah. So really beautiful, but maybe I'll just hand over the mic to Mandy herself because she can talk about this a lot better. So you're bringing to us today the power of presence, and I know there's also a big practice part with it. That's why I don't want to take too much of the time that you have. Thank you so, so much for being here. And yeah, everyone out there, enjoy her presence in this very beautiful moment.
Dannie, thank you so much, and so beautiful to be here and to be a part of the Lalumi community. So thank you so much. I'm really grateful and honored to be a part of it. Welcome everybody. I wish I could see everybody's faces, but I'm connecting and feeling into this beautiful container that's been created. And there is no other or better way to access presence than through experience. So before we begin, I'm going to guide us into a meditation this morning. And before we begin, I just want to share a few things that have come up for me before we step into that sacred pause. I feel that we are in these absolutely extraordinary times where there is this enormous opportunity like never before to tune into and connect to what it is to be human. And as we experience everything magnified so intensely, individually and collectively, our tendency is to go into that negative bias where we're looking at everything as what isn't, and particularly through a very negative lens, and forgetting that, of course, we're in a duality. And so as everything is magnifying and expanding, it is happening in all directions. And what this means is that for me, we have this capacity and this availability in a way that we've never had before, as an opportunity to access our inner technology. And we don't do this by referencing, or certainly not by referencing our past, and neither do we access this by projecting into what we all know is an unknown future. I believe that this inner technology and this opportunity that resides in really deeply meeting ourselves beyond what we have as limited ideas and notions of what we are exists in the presence. And so this morning I want to take us all on a sacred pause and to invite you to give yourself permission to presence yourself in this moment, and the opportunity to really just be with yourself. And accessing presence comes from when we bring ourselves into full intention and attention. And I know you all know that we cannot really think and breathe consciously at the same time. And so we are this extraordinary geometry of technology that is energy of spirit, having this wild, challenging, intense human experience, sometimes we get really entangled in the human part of it and we forget that we're energy. So this invitation and this kind of practice that we can go into in every moment, in every breath, going forward, is one in which we start to get out of our own way. And the invitation today is also to step more deeply into trust. Trusting that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And so on that note, I invite us all to close our eyes and feeling into that word trust. Trusting a little bit more each and every day, through each and every breath. And in doing so, we allow ourselves to become and to be in the flow of our own lives. Placing your tongue loosely on the roof of your mouth. Becoming aware of your breath. Dropping your chin slightly. Releasing pressure around the neck. And as you meet yourself this morning, and you meet your breath, gently moving in and out of this vessel that guides you each and every day on your earth walk, I invite you to give yourself permission. Permission to be here now. You might feel you wish to take a deeper breath in, a slower exhalation out, settling into this moment. A moment to meet yourself. And in your own way, taking a moment to greet yourself. Just to say hi to this body of yours and all the bodies. And with this, inviting all these parts of you to come back home. So as you settle into your breath, a natural breath, in your own way, can you invite all parts of you, the parts of you that have come from the previous conversations, the parts of you that are thinking about the rest of the day, can you invite all of you, emotional, mental, spiritual parts of you, and all the energies to arrive back to center point, finding your own point within you, guided by your mind's eye, at that place of center, there is a still point. Might be near your heart, your solar plexus, behind the spine. Drawing yourself inward, allowing your breath to be the bridge. And observing as a aware witness, without judgment, letting go of expectations of how things should or shouldn't be. Meeting this moment through your breath and the guidance of this voice. And with each breath, there is this invitation in the being of yourself to feel, moving that awareness to the heart center and feeling where your body's at, where your mind, your heart, your spirit. Just the softening, the surrendering into the isness of this moment. You might find that you're feeling sounds, movements, energies within you. And simply observing. Each breath connecting inward. As you explore from your heart center the sense of a geometry, your unique geometry. Not needing to understand, not needing to know, simply being with yourself as you are. Focusing your awareness on your breath, gently moving in and out. Silently to yourself, begin by saying, I am, followed by your first name and then your last name. Drop in your last name and silently, I am, and your first name. And drop in your first name as you silently speak, I am. And with your breath, connecting to the I am presence of who you are. Beyond your name, beyond your identity, beyond your conditioning and stories. I am. Simply observing as you feel into this connection to the I am frequency that is moving through you, around you. I am. Breathing into that still point, allowing yourself to meet yourself. Multifaceted, multidimensional. Putting aside language, allowing yourself to feel and to receive yourself as energy, a unique blueprint, following your breath inward, settling into the stillness, whatever you are feeling, wherever you are at, are you able to be with you in this moment? Meeting yourself from a place of deep trust and knowing, connecting to all these parts of you. Designed for creative expression. Giving yourself permission to open yourself, to receive yourself. Stay with your breath. Observe the flow of your breath, gently moving in, moving through your body, all the way around and out. This gentle flow without you having to even think. Allow yourself to sink in, to soften, to feel. Calling you back, calling you in. Be here now. Stay with your breath. Observe your flow. Each breath an opportunity to meet yourself, to connect more fully with your own technology. Your unique geometry. Bringing your left hand to the right, thumbs to your heart center. The union of your inner masculine and feminine, connecting to that still point within as you gently lower your head, taking a deeper breath in and a slow exhalation out as you raise your spine, acknowledging yourself for showing up. And honoring that exquisite life force that resides within you and in all of life. Breathing that in, receiving yourself, exactly as you are. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Gently, in your own way, in your own time, moving your fingers, your toes, and curling your lips on either side as you gently open your eyes. With that connection to self, may presence continue to flow through you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, so beautiful, Mandy. Thank you so much. I feel that was much needed for many of us. And it's just so beautiful to dive into this juicy energy we are creating ourselves when we give ourselves the permission and the space and the time. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And for everyone who's listening, Mandy brought a beautiful gift of a guided meditation that we will also send to you. So you will receive it and you can repeat it at home by yourself. Thank you so much also for that precious gift. And maybe you want to use the last few minutes also to share a bit more about 21 Presents, because
Thank
I
you.
know that it's really something that is very dear to your heart, also from your own personal journey, how much meditation has changed your life and the practice of being present. And so maybe you want to share a little bit what's happening through the 21 Presents for the people here.
Thank you, Danny. I mean, we're all in this together, aren't we? So we're all moving on this extraordinary journey together, and the 21-day Presence program is a collaboration. So it's just this magnificent, very powerful, very beautiful container held by 12 different guides. There are, besides me, 11 other practitioners from all over the world, with each one imparting and guiding and supporting and transmitting their own medicine. And we do this together for 21 days, and we know that it takes 3 weeks to create a habit. So that's been very much a science-proven fact. So this 3 weeks is a very powerful space in which to set yourself up for the rest of the year and really create the stronger, deeper intentions of what you want to step into for 2026. And I felt very strongly that because of the nature of this year, 2025, it's been a really big year, very intense, a lot of stuff moving through all of us, and a call for integration. So this is also a wonderful opportunity. We only meet for 30 minutes. 30 minutes move very, very quickly. It's a wonderful way to create consistency, routine. There is no itinerary, so you don't know who's going to be guiding you, which is fabulous. But then you basically come in each time to meet yourself, and it's a very powerful way in which to support your integration, clarity, and ultimately that inner peace. That calm, that inner peace that is so needed for all of us. So thank you. Please reach out to me if you've got any questions. And Danny, it's just been such an honor to be part of this. I'm excited to listen to Annie now. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Really, I could feel your presence, although you're so many thousands of kilometers away. And I really treasure what you're bringing to my life, to this space, to Laulima, to your own creations, and to the community in South Africa. I know you're also really a very precious gemstone of that. So thank you for being here, and thank you for showing up again. I know that we will probably see you during the next few couple of months in the Laulima community again. So thank you for that as well. Yes, and with that, I want to welcome Annie here with us in the space. So nice that you can join us. Annie's a co-founder of Cape Town Retreats, and she's been an expert in her field for so many years and also has built a beautiful community already and brings and shares her wisdom today with us about purification. So thank you so much, Annie, that you're coming here. I don't want to spend too much time on speaking now. If you have a few more minutes after, then I'm happy to chat. Otherwise, I would just give you the floor. And yeah, welcome so much to this special first Global Online Summit. And thank you for supporting it.
Hi, Danny. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here. And welcome and hello to everyone who's joined. I'm also grateful that you've joined today for this exploration into one of the most ancient and natural and profound practices that we know, which is fasting. So first, before we begin, also just take a moment to reorient the new, fresh energy. So just close your eyes for a moment. Notice your breath. Notice your body on the chair. Take a deep breath in and breathe out through the mouth and come into the space. So this is not going to be a technical lecture. It's rather going to be a story, a weaving together of history, spirituality, science, and of course nature's wisdom. So by the end, my hope is that you'll not only understand fasting more deeply, you'll also feel its meaning in your body and in your spirit. So fasting is one of the most ancient and universal healing practices on earth. And to understand it is to understand something essential about being human. For as long as we have existed, humans have lived in rhythms of feast and famine. Our ancestors didn't have supermarkets, they didn't have refrigerators, no 24-hour takeover. Instead, life was woven into the cycles of nature. The rains would come and bring the abundance, and then there would be long dry seasons where food was scarce. Imagine in those early days waking up in a cave or under the stars, not knowing if today would bring a successful hunt, or whether you would need food if you would walk for miles to just get some fruit or roots or seeds to eat. The body had to adapt. And of course, the body did that brilliantly. It learned how to survive and even how to thrive without food for long stretches of time. And this wasn't optional. It was life or death. And what's extraordinary is that instead of weakening, the body developed an elegant system to heal, repair, restore itself when food was absent. And today, scientists call that fasting physiology, when the body is not occupied with endless working of digesting. It turns its attention inwards and it cleans out the damaged cells, reduces inflammation, and also begins a kind of deep housekeeping. In contrast with that modern life, we live in a world of constant access. Constant access to food every hour of the day, midnight snacks, vending machines, apps that deliver food in minutes. For the first time in human history, eating is no longer bound by the rhythms of nature. And yet, despite this abundance, we are not thriving. Many of us are exhausted, inflamed, struggling with diabetes, obesity, fatigue, chronic disease. Could it be that the problem is not that we don't eat enough, but that we never stop eating? Our bodies remember the ancient rhythm of fasting. We have simply forgotten how to listen. But fasting has never only been about survival. Across cultures and centuries, it has also been a sacred practice. Nearly every religion and wisdom tradition has used fasting as a tool to purify the body, sharpen the mind, and to open the heart. In ancient India, the Vedic, Hindu, and Jain traditions practiced fasting on holy days as a way of honoring life and easing the burden on plants and animals. The Buddha himself, Gautama Buddha, he fasted in his search for enlightenment. In China, in the Middle East, and in Greece, fasting was woven into rituals, philosophy, and healing. And Hippocrates, who, as we know, was the father of modern medicine, recommended fasting long before he prescribed herbs or medicine. He understood something profound, that when the body is given rest from constant digestion, it activates a deeper kind of medicine, the one that already exists inside of us. And this wisdom isn't only human. Watch animals in nature. When a dog or a cat is unwell, it doesn't go looking for food. It lies down, rests, and fasts instinctively. It knows energy must shift from digestion to healing. Even the smallest creatures, birds, reptiles, insects, demonstrate the same wisdom. So fasting is not about punishment. It is not deprivation. To see it that way is to miss its essence. Fasting is nature's pause, the body's built-in reset. It is the stillness between one season and the next, the quiet breath before new life emerges. It is, in truth, a return to our original blueprint, a way of living that connects us back to nature, to spirit, and to the wisdom of our own bodies. But now that we've explored fasting as an ancient rhythm, let's bring it into the body, into the science of what actually happens when we stop eating for a period of time. Most of us think of food as fuel. And yes, food does nourish us, and we need it. But what many people don't realize is that digestion is one of the body's most energy-consuming activities. Every time you eat, your body diverts energy toward breaking down that food, extracting nutrients, and storing away the excess. It's a little bit like running the washing machine. It gets the job done, but while the washing machine is running, you can't use it for anything else. When you stop eating for a time, the body finally gets a chance to turn its attention inward. It begins a process that scientists call autophagy, a word that literally means self-eating, and this is a good thing. In autophagy, the body starts cleaning house. Old damaged cells are broken down and recycled into fresh, healthy ones. It's like spring cleaning at the cellular level. Along with this, fasting reduces inflammation, which is at the root of so many modern illnesses. From arthritis to heart disease to depression, think of inflammation as a constant fire burning in the body. Fasting is like pouring cool water on those flames, giving your system relief. Then there is the impact on metabolism. When you fast, insulin levels drop and your body shifts from burning sugar to burning stored fat. This is why fasting can support healthy weight loss without extreme dieting. But it's not only about weight, it's about balance. Many people who fast notice that their blood sugar stabilizes, their energy becomes steadier, and their mental clarity improves. Speaking of mental clarity, have you noticed how foggy and heavy you feel after a big meal? When the body is constantly digesting, the brain feels sluggish. But when we pause from eating, something remarkable happens. The brain becomes sharper. Studies show that fasting increases levels of BDNF, which is a protein that helps protect neurons and even encourages new brain cells to grow. And this is why many people say they feel more focused, more creative, and more alive when fasting. And then there's the immune system. Research shows that periods of fasting can reset immune function, encouraging the body to generate fresh white blood cells. It's as if the immune system gets a reboot, emerging stronger and more resilient. So when people ask me, isn't fasting just starving yourself? I smile, because the truth is, fasting is not about weakening the body. It's about giving the body space to activate its most intelligent, built-in repair system. Imagine it this way. Your body is like a wise old library. Every day you fill it with new books, food, information, experiences. But at some point, the shelves are overflowing. Fasting is the librarian coming in, tidying up, removing the damaged books, and making space for the knowledge that really matters. It is a profound act of renewal. And here's the beautiful thing. It doesn't take weeks to begin. Even short fasts, 12 to 16 hours, can set these processes in motion. That's as simple as finishing dinner a little earlier and waiting until mid-morning the next day to eat again. Your body already knows how to do this. All you're doing is stepping out of the way and allowing it to remember. But we don't only look at fasting as something physical. Fasting is never only about the body. It touches our emotions, our thoughts, and even our spirit in ways that are just as profound. Let me ask you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine you've decided to fast for a day. The first few hours are easy, but then maybe around lunchtime, your mind begins to chatter. Thoughts arise. I'm hungry. I can't do this. What if I get weak? The interesting thing is that these thoughts often appear long before the body is actually in any danger. What you're experiencing is not physical starvation, it's emotional resistance. Fasting has a way of bringing our emotional patterns to the surface. We may notice how much we eat out of habit, out of boredom, or out of a need for comfort. We may notice the way food becomes a filler, a way to fill emptiness, an emptiness that is not really in the stomach, but is in the heart. In this way, fasting is like holding up a mirror to our relationship with ourselves. And yet, once we move through that initial restlessness, something beautiful happens. A spaciousness opens up. The body quiets, the mind softens, and we begin to feel more connected, not just to ourselves, but to something greater. This is why nearly every spiritual tradition on earth, spiritual tradition on earth, has used fasting as a doorway to the divine. When we fast, we step into a kind of sacred silence. In Christianity, fasting has been a way of preparing the heart for prayer. In Islam, the holy month of Ramadan is a time to fast during the day, not only from food, but also from negative thoughts and distractions, so that the spirit can be purified. In Buddhism, fasting has been used to still the mind and awaken deeper awareness. Even outside of formal religion, people who fast often speak of feeling more present, more connected to nature, more sensitive to subtle energies. It's as if the absence of food awakens the senses. We notice the colors of the sky, the sound of the wind, the beating of our own heart. The veil between the seen and unseen becomes thinner. And perhaps the most important thing, fasting teaches trust. When we fast, we are reminded that we are supported by something larger than the next meal. We realize that we don't need to be constantly filled to be whole. There is a strength in emptiness. There is wisdom in the pause. I often tell people, fasting is not about deprivation. It is about devotion. Devotion to your body, devotion to your spirit, and to the deep intelligence of life itself. So yes, fasting cleans the body, but it also clears the mind, softens the emotions, and opens the heart. It makes space for grace. When you take away the constant act of eating, you start to notice how often food is linked to emotions rather than true hunger. Think about it. How often do you reach for something when you're stressed, lonely, bored? We all do it. But during a fast, this pattern becomes clear. Without solid food to lean on, you start to ask, am I actually hungry? Or am I looking for comfort, for distraction, for a way to soothe myself? This awareness alone is powerful. It gives you the chance to pause, to notice, and to make new choices. That pause, that space, is where healing begins. Now let's talk about the mind. Have you ever felt sluggish, foggy, or like your thoughts are scattered? A fast often clears that mental fog. Why? Because when your body isn't bogged down digesting heavy meals, it frees up energy for clarity. Your blood sugar stabilizes, inflammation reduces, and suddenly your mind feels sharper, calmer, and more focused. Many people describe a feeling of lightness, not just in their body, but in their thoughts. It is as if the mental clutter falls away and what is left is more stillness, more presence. Can you see the pattern forming? And this can be emotional too. Sometimes old feelings come up during a fast, maybe sadness, anger, or even memories that you've pushed aside. At first, that can feel uncomfortable. But it's actually a gift. It's the body and mind's way of saying, I'm ready to release this now. When you allow yourself to feel it without numbing it with food or distractions, it can move through you. And afterwards, you often feel lighter, freer, more connected to yourself. So fasting isn't just about cleansing the body. It's about clearing the emotional and mental space too. Imagine it as opening the windows of a room that has been closed up for months. The fresh air comes in, the light streams through, and suddenly you can breathe again. When people hear about fasting, it can sometimes sound intimidating. But a gentle juice fast, like the one we have offered here as a gift for your participation in the summit, is actually meant to support you, not to punish or deplete you. The goal is never to feel weak, dizzy, or deprived. The goal is to create space for the body to do what it already knows how to do, which is to restore balance. So how do we make this process easier, smoother, and more nourishing? Let's look at a few simple but powerful tips. First, hydration. So we've offered you a juice fast. So even though you'll be drinking juices, if you decide to take this, if you decide to do this fast, it's important to also drink water between the juices, because your body is releasing a lot during a fast. It's not only physically, but also energetically. And water helps to flush, cleanse, carry away what is no longer needed. So think of it as giving your body a river to wash through cells. Second, when you fast, your body is doing deep inner work. It's like cleaning every room of your house. If you keep trying to move the furniture around or invite guests in while cleaning, it will feel overwhelming. But if you slow down, rest, and give your body time to focus, the process becomes effortless. Third, be gentle with yourself. Some people expect to feel light and energized the whole way through, and yes, that often happens. In fact, sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't happen. It will, of course, depend entirely on where you are at right now. But there may also be moments of tiredness or emotions rising to the surface, and this is not failure. This is your body and mind finally having the time to process what they usually push aside. Welcome it, hold yourself with kindness, the way you would hold a dear friend. Fourth is to create a calm environment. If possible, surround yourself with beauty, maybe some flowers, a candle, high frequency music that soothes your heart. The external environment really influences the internal one. So when your surroundings are calm and uncluttered, your inner world can mirror that. Of course, when you get to very high levels, your inner world creates the outer world. But we can just talk about where we are at. Fifth, journal or reflect. This can be a powerful time to notice what comes up for you, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. What patterns, what thoughts, what desires are present when you take food away? Sometimes you'll discover clarity about what really matters and what doesn't. And finally, listen to your body. This is the golden rule. If your body needs more rest, give it. If your body asks for warm herbal tea, give it. Fasting is not about willpower or pushing through. It's about reconnecting with your body's wisdom and allowing it to lead. So let's just talk about something that often takes people by surprise when they begin fasting, when your emotions rise to the surface. You see, fasting is not just a physical reset, it is also an emotional reset. When we eat every few hours, food often becomes more than just fuel. For many of us, food is our comfort. It's a distraction. It's the quick reward at the end of a stressful day. It's the companion when we feel lonely, or the soothing balm when we feel anxious. Without even realizing it, food becomes our emotional wallpaper, covering the cracks, smoothing over the discomfort, giving us the illusion of calm. But when we fast, the wallpaper is peeled away. Suddenly, what we've been avoiding is right there asking to be seen. I remember a woman who came on one of my retreats a few years ago. She was radiant and strong on the outside, but inside she was holding a lot of grief, the loss of her partner. On the second day of the juice fast, the tears began to flow. She told me, I never realized how much I was eating to keep myself from feeling. With the food taken away, her heart had space to finally release. She cried, she journaled, she walked in nature. And by the end of the retreat, her face was softer, her eyes were brighter. She told me it felt as though weight had been lifted, not just from her body, but from her soul. This is the power of fasting. It gives the emotions room to breathe. Now, this process is not always easy. When we fast, you may find yourself feeling restless, bored, or even angry. Old memories may bubble up, or a sudden wave of sadness may appear, seemingly out of nowhere. But this is not a sign that something is wrong. Quite the opposite. It is a sign that something deep inside you is being set free. I'd like to pause here for a moment and invite you to reflect. Think about your own relationship with food. When you reach for something to eat, outside of your true physical hunger, what is it usually about? Is it comfort? Is it to calm stress? Is it habit? Or maybe a way of avoiding silence or stillness? Just let that question rest in your awareness for a few moments. You don't need to answer it right now. Simply notice what arises. I'm always drinking water. Because here's the beautiful truth. When we allow these emotions to come forward during fasting, when we meet them with gentleness instead of numbing them with food, they begin to release. And as they release, the body feels lighter, the heart feels freer, the mind feels clearer. This is why fasting is so much more than a detox for the body. It is a detox for the heart. It is a way of clearing the inner space so that we can feel more deeply, live more openly, and connect more authentically with ourselves and with the people around you. While fasting clears the body and the emotions, it has this extraordinary effect on our mental state. Think about how much time is spent preparing food, thinking about food, what to prepare, what to shop, shopping, unpacking the groceries, preparing, eating, washing dishes. Ask anyone who's responsible for the whole family's food how much energy is spent on feeding everyone, or even just feeding yourself. And then think about how much of our daily energy is spent processing the food. The body is constantly digesting, breaking down, and distributing nutrients. That work takes a huge amount of energy. Energy that, when digestion quiets down, becomes suddenly available for other things. And one of the first places you'll notice this shift is in the mind. Many people describe the experience of fasting as a kind of mental sharpening. Suddenly, there's clarity where there was fog, thoughts feel more ordered, creative ideas seem to arise more freely, and concentration deepens. It's as if the static clears from the radio channel, and you can finally hear the music underneath. So, the protein, this brain-derived neurotropic factor, supports the growth of neurons, strengthens the existing neural connections, and helps protect the brain from age-related decline. In simple terms, fasting is like a workout for the brain. It helps keep our mental circuits strong, flexible, and youthful. I'll share a personal story. Years ago, during one of my early fasting experiences, and I've been fasting for more than 30 years, I noticed something remarkable. By the end of the second day, it felt as if the chatter in my mind had dialed down several notches. It wasn't obsessing anymore over what to eat next. Of course, I was like on day 2 of a 7-day fast. It wasn't replaying old worries in the same way. Instead, I began to see patterns in my life more clearly. 2 days in, A project I had been struggling with suddenly felt simple. I had a relationship dynamic I hadn't understood, which before which suddenly made sense. It was as though the fast had swept away the dust of the windows of my own mind, and I could see more clearly. And this is why so many spiritual seekers, monks and mystics across history have used fasting as part of their path. It's not only about cleansing the body, it's about creating a quiet, clear inner landscape where wisdom can emerge. What might it feel like if your mind had to be free of that constant buzz? Just sit with that for a second. If your thoughts slowed down and your awareness expanded, what new clarity might you discover about your life right now? And now perhaps the most subtle, yet the most profound layer of all, the spiritual body. When we fast, we are not only resting the body, clearing the mind, releasing emotions, we are opening the doorway to spirit. Every great spiritual tradition has used fasting as a way of drawing closer to the divine. Jesus fasted for 40 days in the desert. Buddhist monks have long fasted to quiet the senses and open the heart to enlightenment. The wisdom of the ancients was clear. When we remove the distractions of constant eating, something sacred awakens. Because fasting creates space, and in that space, the noise of the world begins to fall away. We hear more deeply, we feel more subtly, we sense a presence that is always here, but often hidden beneath layers of busyness and consumption. In my own experience, extended fasts have often brought moments of profound connection. Sometimes it comes as a sense of being held by something greater. Sometimes it's an inner lightness, a feeling of union with nature, with the earth, with the elements. At times it is simply silence, vast, peaceful, and deeply nourishing. And maybe you felt this too. Even outside of fasting, that moment in nature when time seems to stop, or in meditation when the mind grows quiet, or even in the stillness before dawn, fasting is another gateway to the same state. There's also a subtle discipline involved. Fasting teaches surrender. We surrender to the immediate desire for gratification. We surrender the constant seeking of comfort. And in that surrender, we often find freedom and grace. And this is why I always say fasting is not just for the body. It is for the heart. It is for the mind. And it is for the soul. It is a practice of love. Love for yourself, love for life, and love for the intelligence that flows through all things. I invite you to consider how fasting might be a gift for you. Perhaps a day of juice fasting, or simply extend the time between meals. Perhaps a weekend, or a longer retreat where the rhythm of life allows. Thank you. I hope that you carry this wisdom into your life, into your daily rhythm, and into your being.
Thank you so much, Annie, for this beautiful talk. Wow, I learned so much, and it's really so inspiring to hear, that also from your experience, I'm very aware that, what kind of thoughts people might have when they start fasting or when they get into the praxis of, and with your experience, you can share this so deeply from your experience and from your heart, but also from the experience from so many people who have been with you on that journey.
Right.
So it's so beautiful to receive all of that, as an invitation. I really feel this invitation. I wonder how it is for our audience as well. And Annie is gifting us a 3-day fasting recipe book. So you will all receive it, and then you can go on your own journey. And we are really curious how it's going to land for you and how it's going to be for you. So really that is a really beautiful invitation. And one more thing I would love to ask you, from people who have maybe not have had experience so far, and they now start to, whether it's an overnight or weekend or weekly, whatever you just suggested, invitation. What do you feel like? How often can people repeat it? Is it something that, you would say that once is enough just to get a test of it, or is it something that you should do regularly? I heard so many different ways how you can do it, so maybe you can share a little bit of your best practice there.
Absolutely. Well, remember that we have evolved from a space of feasting and famine, and our bodies are adjusted and adapted to be able to fast regularly. So it's not a problem to fast regularly. I would say that if we were fasting too much, and too much would be like, it became like an obsession, where you're just fasting all the time because it gives you that buzz, then definitely tone it down. But there's no rule that says you can't fast once a week. You can't fast every 3 months for 3 days. You can fast every 6 months for a week. You can fast once a year for 10 days, 28 days. There are many different ways of doing fasting. But if you've never, ever done fasting, I would suggest you just try simply. Do some intermittent fasting. And once you've gotten through that, try 1 day fasting, 1 day juice fasting, even 1 day water fasting can come later. You can do 3 days juice fasting, you can move. So it calibrates your body, get your body, your rhythm used to fasting little by little. And you will also know when the right time for you is to fast. If you have questions, you can DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to always answer questions. It's not a big deal. But thank you very much, Danny. Do you have any more questions? Or I can see we're running late for Philippa.
Yes, no, I have one comment that I want to maybe give some space. Wow, amazing in all of this talk. What about physical activity like exercise can be supplemented with protein shakes? That's from Bobby.
Protein shakes during a fast?
Yeah.
So during a fast, ultimately you want to remove all fiber. So protein shakes is fiber. And it's fine to have the juice of the vegetables, but not the fiber of the vegetables. So you would need a juicer, or you would need a blender. And then if you're using a blender, you would need to be able to strain the fiber to be able to drink the juice, or just water fasting. But you can, there is a misconception that you cannot exercise when you fast because you feel like your body doesn't have any energy. But that's not quite true, especially with juice fasting. You're receiving a lot of nutrients in your body, and you are still able to do exercising. On our retreats, we have 5 nights of juice fasting. We actually exercise quite a lot. We go for long walks in nature, we walk to the waterfall, and all of this kind of stuff. So your body will bring out the energy for you to be able to exercise as well. And if you go for an extended fast, you might lose protein, but keep it kind of to 5 days, 7 days like this, and you won't lose your protein.
Great. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming, Annie. I'm really grateful that you showed up, that you brought your community, that you're bringing this beautiful gift to test out how it is with a 3-day fast, and the offering also for people to reach out on your Instagram. Thank you so much for that. Have a great weekend, and I'm hoping to see you very soon again.
I'd love that. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Annie. Bye-bye.
Looking forward to Philippa's talk now.
Yes, me too. I'm already grateful that Philippa is here. We're running also a little bit, tiny bit over, but I think it's gonna be fine because after Philippa, we do not have anyone anymore. So yeah, welcome, Philippa. So I just don't want to give too much of attention anymore to me and introducing you. Philippa is also a dear friend. She's hosting the beautiful festival spaces where also Margarita was speaking about in the morning. We had a talk with Margarita, and she was already mentioning that she's also excited to go to all the festivals again and be in one of those spaces you are co-creating. You also have 2 shops now soon in Cape Town, Magical Gem, and you're offering space also for healers and practitioners, so for people to come and look for healing and sometimes workshops and stuff in those places. But first of all, you're coming today as a practitioner of hypnosis and a healer yourself, and you're bringing a beautiful practice, and I'm so excited to also dive in myself. shortly. So I would love to just hand it over to you and give you the space. And then if there's still some things to talk about, we can maybe do that in after your beautiful practice. Welcome, Philippa.
Thank you so much, Dannie, and thank you for having me. I'm extremely grateful to be here and to be part of this community. So I'm going to be offering the hypnosis this morning, and in order to ensure that we have enough time for that, I'm going to ask all the participants to please find a position where you can relax, and this can either be lying down or sitting up with your back against the wall, supported, and your feet resting easily on the floor. Make sure that you are comfortable, silence any distractions, and allow this time to be entirely for you. We're going to begin the process of gently guiding you inward to reconnect with a deeper purpose that already lives within you. So I want you now to set your intention just to yourself that you're going to use my voice as an anchor. And if you hear anything else from the outside world, this is only going to take you deeper into a state of relaxation. So you're going to focus only on my voice. And sitting down or lying back, you let your gaze now soften. Just noticing the natural rhythm of your breath. With every exhale, your eyelids grow heavier, heavier, until you are ready to gently close them. With intention, you now relax the tiny muscles around the eyelids, the eyebrows, the lashes. Now I will ask you to try to open your eyes. And when I say try, it means you simply notice that you cannot and need not open them. Your lids stay softly closed, calm and comfortable, feeling how easy it is to let go. Imagine a warm light seal across the lashes, as though they are softly joined. Allow that same relaxation to spread outward, across the forehead and temples, down the cheeks and jaw, over the neck and shoulders, flowing through the arms and the hands, across the chest and the back, and down through the hips, legs, and all the way to the feet. Your entire body rests in slow, deep waves of ease. Breathe deeper and deeper again. In a moment, I will ask you to open and close your eyes. When you close them, I want you to intentionally increase your relaxation by threefold. Please open your eyes and close them, finding you drift now 3 times deeper into calm. Again, we're going to open and close the eyes. Open your eyes now and close them, deepening the relaxation by twofold. We're going to do that one more time. Open your eyes and close them, finding that the state of calm deepens further. I'm going to invite you now to use your imagination. And we're going to count down from the number 100. I want you to let the numbers appear in the inner eye of your mind. They will show themselves in a way that feels most natural to you today. Perhaps as soft clouds drifting across a blue sky, or as symbols gently etched in mist. Whatever you see is perfect. Now, picture the number 100 before you. Notice its texture, its color, the way it lingers. And as soon as that number begins to fade, you feel yourself drifting a little deeper. Allow 100 to dissolve. Then 99. Seeing it now, allowing it to dissolve, and deepening your relaxation. 98. 97. 96. 95. And 94. All the numbers now effortlessly vanish. Let them all disappear, leaving only a quiet, limitless stillness that carries you deeper and deeper into a delicious relaxation. Below you now shimmers a rainbow, and we are about to descend into each color of the rainbow. You float gently downward and move into the first color, red. You are now red. The room that you're in is red. Everything is red. Red gives you vital life force, confidence, and vitality. Just soaking that up, allowing red to penetrate every single cell in your being. We continue our descent now, and we move into the color orange. Orange awakens your spirit. Everything is orange. Further down we move into a wonderful lemon yellow. Yellow is the color of happiness and joy. And just for a moment, I want you to touch those feelings. How does happiness and joy authentically feel like to you? Sinking further now, you move into green. Green like a fresh soccer field. Green has the ability to open your heart further. It can bring frankness and good luck. Soaking up that color now. And finally, you move down into a sky blue. Blue gives you a strong sense of quiet and inner peace. Moving now through the entire rainbow, allowing all the colors to settle in your being, feeling their energy, feeling their properties. You find yourself now standing on a staircase. This staircase has 10 steps leading downward. You notice the surface of each step. Notice what your steps are made out of, the way they feel beneath your bare feet, the way the light touches them. I am going to count now down from 10 to 1. And with each number, I want you to step down and drift just a little deeper. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You are now at the bottom of the staircase, and directly ahead of you stands a large ancient door, tall, thick, and heavy. Its surface is alive with intricate symbols and etched patterns. Spirals, stars, flowing lines that seem to shimmer with meaning. Some you recognize, others feel older than memory. As you draw closer, trace the grooves with your fingertips, noticing how the symbols almost pulse with a quiet light. The door now begins to open, soundless and sure. You step through the door now, finding yourself in a room that is white and infinite, with no corners and no edges, complete expansiveness. And almost like fog that starts to dissipate and reveal the scene to you. You notice now that you are standing in a garden that has been created just for you. Your favorite trees stretch towards the sky. Flowers you love most bloom in vibrant colors. A gentle wind moves across your skin, carrying the scent of earth and blossoms. Above, the sun filters through the drifting clouds, warm and welcoming. Take a slow breath and notice a subtle shift in the garden air now. From a mist, a luminous figure approaches you. It is you, but more radiant, more assured. This is your future self, the version of you who has stepped fully into your power, your purpose, and your peace. Observe your future self's posture, your eyes, the way you carry the wisdom of every choice you are yet to make. Feel the quiet confidence that flows from you like sunlight. Stepping closer until you can sense your own heartbeat echoing with the heartbeat of your future self. You want to merge with this version of yourself so that you have clarity on how your own life needs to shift, to grow, and change. Allow this future self to speak, perhaps with words, perhaps through a feeling or an image, offering guidance only you can hear. Keep yourself open to what your future wants to share with you. Note how all guidance is reassuring and calming. You now make a commitment to your future self, to honor your growth, to choose actions aligned with an empowered path, to meet this self again in waking life. And you anchor it now with a breath. Nice deep breath in. Feeling the promise ripple through every cell. You now go find a place to sit in your garden. This is the perfect place just for you. And it's next to a big flowing river. And you keep breathing deeply with the rhythm of this sanctuary, your sacred and safe space, a place you can always return to. And as you settle comfortably into this inner landscape, every breath carries you a little deeper, drifting, floating, aware of the quiet rhythm of your own heart. A gentle spark of light glows in the center of your chest. This is your natural clarity around your purpose. It's always present, quietly alive. With every breath, it becomes steadier, brighter, and easier to feel. Here in the sacred stillness, you begin to recognize what you truly want, not the wants shaped by old habits or other people's expectations, but the desires arising from your deepest self. They gently drift into awareness now, almost like clouds. Clarity is a living, breathing awareness. Never forced, never final. Notice how certain possibilities feel harmonious, how the body responds with warmth or expansion when it's harmonious. If a thought presents itself that creates discord, just simply observe it. This is only information, an invitation to adjust your course and fine-tune to the exact frequency of your authentic path. You repeat now silently, letting each phrase settle with every slow exhale. With every day, my clarity strengthens. I recognize exactly what I want and choose it now. I know that clarity is an essential ingredient to living a life of purpose and in my unique purpose. my clarity evolves into ever greater precision. I trust my inner knowing without hesitation or doubt. The fog is lifting, and I begin to see my path with absolute clarity. My clarity is a powerful magnet. Feel these truths embedded like strong roots in fertile soil, alive, expanding, self-sustaining. Allow a new understanding to unfold. Purpose is not a distant mystery. It is something you practice. It lives in daily choices, in the moments when you decide to feel, to experience, and to engage. You now allow a memory or two to surface. Perhaps times when wisdom rose from past experiences. This event or events, pleasant or challenging, are weaving together a message about you and what you truly seek in life. The memory or memories reveal how self-love can guide you towards better decisions, how each turning point has quietly shaped your desires. You sense now the feelings, relationships, and experiences that would create your ideal reality. They already exist within you. Within this clarity, there is a gentle flicker of passion. Passion often begins as a subtle spark and grows into a steady flame. You nurture it by returning to it consistently, even when parts of the journey feel ordinary or repetitive. These very moments strengthen the fire. Understand, passion is not only the excitement of inspiration, it is the devotion to keep showing up, to practice, to grow, to let the flame become a guiding light for your purpose. Motivation, discipline, and planning are important to stay focused and steady. You can repeat to yourself, I stay with what matters rather than being pulled into distraction. Motivation fuels the beginning, but discipline carries you forward, and planning allows you to enjoy your present. Feel the calm and confidence that comes from balancing these elements. Coded into every cell of your being is a higher purpose. You sense now this truth in your body. Even past challenges have been secret invitations, preparing you for the next unfolding. Your attention now moves to the river before you. Into this river, I want you to release all the heavy garments of expectation. It's going to be very simple and easy to do. You literally just remove them and place them in the river. Perhaps these heavy garments are named the need to prove, the fear of failing, the pressure to get it right. One by one, you see these garments dissolve, or the water carrying them away until only your essential self remains, free, light, and sovereign. Silently repeat, I release what no longer serves the truth of my being. Feeling the deep exhale of the soul as each repetition softens and frees you. I release what no longer serves the truth of my being. I release what no longer serves the truth of my being. Sense the seed of purpose taking root through your entire body, in your mind as clarity, in your heart as passion, in your belly as steady will, down through your legs and feet as grounded action. Take one more moment to visualize your daily life unfolding. Conversations, creative projects, moments of service, all aligned with this renewed sense of direction. Each ordinary action glows now with meaning, and you affirm softly, I walk my path with grace. My purpose reveals itself in each breath, with each day that passes. Taking a nice deep breath in now, you allow the golden light in your heart to soften like a sunset of an inner day, knowing that the spark remains ready to guide you beyond this session. And when you are ready, I want you to rise from the seat in your garden and walk back towards the ornate door. And as you reach this big, beautiful, ancient door, you run your fingers one last time along the etched symbols. Perhaps there are some you recognize, feeling their quiet pulse. And you step through the doorway knowing you can return to this place at any time and find the staircase waiting. We are now going to begin your gentle ascent, step by step, as I count upward. 1, 2. Your heart rate and blood pressure return to normal. 3, 4. All the numbers that disappeared in the beginning return to you now. 5, 6. Your awareness returning, feeling embodied. 7 and 8. Energy rising through your body. 9 and 10. Awake, refreshed, carrying with you a certainty of clarity, purpose, and passion. Take a deep, nourishing breath now. Open your eyes and return fully to the present moment, ready to move forward in alignment with what you truly desire.
Thank you so much, Philippa. Oh my God, that was really deep and beautiful. And again, I'm wondering how our audience felt and, you know, what kind of insight they received on their beautiful journey. And also, thank you to you. We have a recorded version, so people can also do it again if they have not been in the right environment right now or been distracted. So there's another opportunity for everyone. Thank you so much also for that gift. And maybe you can share with us, hypnosis for so many people often is, you know, still a weird feeling. What would you recommend? What are the questions or the things that people really benefit from hypnosis a lot? What would you say?
So hypnosis, I can tell you, I mean, hypnosis can assist with many, many different things. For me personally, I used to have an obsessive compulsive disorder, which they actually told me was incurable. So for the first 30 years of my life, I believed there was something actually quite fundamentally wrong with me, because there was nothing I could do to stop this tick that I had. And I can tell you what it was. I had trichotillomania, so I used to pull my hair out. And I even would do it in my sleep. And hypnosis was the only thing that actually assisted to calm that down. And that's where I really started believing in it. I've had clients, I mean, something that's incurable, you know, it was just mind-blowing. And that's when I really fell into this journey, when I actually experienced it for myself. I've had clients that have eating disorders, that struggle with self-esteem, that struggle with letting go, that struggle with procrastination. Almost anything you can think of, hypnosis can become your ally with. Because we're going into the subconscious mind, you then are able to actually make real significant change instead of just relying on your own willpower, which often, you know, fails you. So when I write a hypnosis script, I normally write it for a person. So I curate it specifically for that person. So it's not a generic type of script. So I look at what are their needs, what are they struggling with, how can I put more empowered beliefs or help them with more empowered beliefs, so that it's not only a change, but there's actually a real transformation that happens after.
Beautiful.
So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, that's beautiful. And also people will find you in the Magical Gem shop in Cape Town and soon in Simonstown. And also on Instagram, Magical Gem, we will put your details under the recording and also in the email. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share? Because I want to give you the space. Maybe you want to already announce a little bit the soon opening for the Simonstown shop.
What I actually initially wanted to share was, I loved when Margarita was speaking and she was talking about this really being a time with eclipse of delving into, you know, the subconscious, because it's a darker time, it's a blackening, it's a shadow time. So I really think that hypnosis is quite aligned with that, because you can actually then drop into that darker shadow side and, you know, see what it is that you still need to work with, or how you can still grow and move past certain things so that we can all continue evolving. And through each of our own personal evolution, you know, that's just in the energy field ripples out to those around us. So your own healing actually helps many more than what you are aware of. But yes, thank you for mentioning the new shop as well. We are opening a shop in Simonstown. Finally going to be by the ocean, which we are very, very excited about. There's been a lot of hard work gone into it already. So I'm going to be opening in the next 2 weeks. We'll be just across from Long Beach. So there will be now 2 esoteric shops with all the divination goodies and healing practices and magical things.
Yeah, so exciting. I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much. And also for everyone who's seeking to find a community, or go for a healing or find a course, Magical Gem has so many different offerings. Just really have a look and find out what maybe also suits you. So thank you so much for coming in today. I'm really, really grateful. We had a beautiful first day now on the summit with the opening with Margarita, what you just also said, with what these times are about and how important it is to show up for ourselves. Then with Mandy bringing us into our presence, and Annie speaking about purification, and now you bringing this kind of reorienting yourself and redirecting yourself with the help of hypnosis. So I feel that was a very powerful start into the 3 days. Thank you so, so much for coming today. And everyone,
No, thank you, Danny.
yes,
Your hard work and this community is so needed. So really, from our side, thank you very much.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for the collaboration. I can't wait to co-create more. I'm sure we will have a few ideas that we will come up with very soon. Yes, and everyone who's still listening, please come back tomorrow. We have 4 more amazing speakers tomorrow, and then another 4 on Monday. So tomorrow, Sunday, when you're in Europe, on the Berlin or Brussels time, Amsterdam time, it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon until 6 p.m. because we have speakers from other country and time zones. So we had to kind of catch up with that. And then on Monday again, we are here from 10 to 12:30. So I'm very excited for the other speakers to still come. And thank you so much for you, Philippa, and the others who were here today, and for everyone who joined in. See you all together tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.